come free with the duck and an eagle shooting the breeze. From paintball fields to campfire fun, you know the rowdy talk's just begun. Now kick up your feet and pour a glass. We're about to have a blast. We're the rowdy ones. We're the rowdy ones. The rowdy ones.
Oh man, welcome back, everybody.
Cheers, Bubs.
Cheers, pimp. What you drinking on over there? What you got for us?
I got some Yellowstone, which I'm not normally a big fan of, but it's their toasted 100 proof, and it's pretty nice.
Nice.
It's decent. You know, trying something a little different. You know, in these, I'm in a state-controlled state, so Pennsylvania. We can always get things for retail prices, but you know, it's harder to get some of the
limited selection.
Some of the limited selection stuff.
Yeah. Dude, yeah. I was torn tonight. Joseph May or Doc Swenson Alter Ego. Went with the Alter Ego. You know, you've had it.
It's nice. I like the Alter Ego. I've never had the Joseph May.
So. They're straight bourbon, not worth the price point. The cigar blend is lights out my favorite. It's like $140 a bottle. This blend that I got is a Sherry Oak. I forget which other barrel it's finished in. Really, really good. Like dangerously good. Yeah, it's probably one of my favorites in that price range right now. They crush.
I like that. I'll have to check it out if I ever see it available.
So, you know me, I'll fly you a bottle.
Fly me a bottle, huh?
I'll fly it to you.
That's what I said. Fly me a bottle. I like
that.
Yeah, I was accepting your gift offer this time.
Oh, that's a rarity.
It is a rarity. You went instantly defensive on it.
I'm so used to you being like, no. And just
how's a good gift giver, everyone? For everyone who doesn't know, he's a giver through and through. He told me he wasn't going to get me anything for Christmas this year, and it wasn't on Christmas, but I ended up getting a vibration plate, which if you don't know, it's like wakeboard sized, and it's got a motor in it and just wobbles you around like crazy. It kind of reminds me of the 60s workout machines with the belts that wear people's pad out. And I'm not going to lie, I would have thought this was the biggest gimmick. I would have never bought one of these, but it's been great. Like I love using it. My wife loves using it. It helps me when I'm sore after practices. I've noticed that, I think it aids in recovery faster. I know it's really good for like your lymphatic systems and stuff like that, but I think that's harder to feel the day-to-day, like quick processes from. You just have to have kind of the belief that it's doing that. But for my muscles and stuff, like I love just getting on it for, 20 minutes doing, calf raises and squats on it while my butt's all jiggling like crazy.
Oh yeah.
But it's so if you guys don't know about it, look into them. I'm a believer, and it didn't take me long to convert, but thank you for that wonderful gift of something that I wouldn't have bought myself, which are always the best gifts.
Dude, right? And it's like I thought it was totally gimmicky, and Cody Alford, he was using it, and I hit him
hopefully
up.
We can get him on sometime.
Dude, yeah, no, I will. I know he's super busy right now. He just got done with SHOT Show, and he's traveling a whole bunch. He's actually out of town. I talked to him.
For anyone that doesn't know, Cody Alford was like the youngest sergeant in the Marines ever, and he's made a pretty illustrious post-military career out of being a motivational speaker and having a lot of different forays into different things, and definitely interesting. I don't know him personally, but I trust your judgment on people a lot, and it would be great to have him on sometime because his stories are pretty wild, and not only in the military, but also what got him there, and his ventures into entrepreneurship. Everything is he'd be an interesting guest to have on.
No, he's great, and he already said he will. He's just got to find time. No, Cody Alford was a bad mammer jammer, Marine Raider, like great guy, and I think his post-service story is more like so inspirational. It's so incredible. Like, I mean, he was a dude that was literally just not like, I don't want to say he was physically falling apart, but there was just a lot of stuff going on. And he looked himself in the mirror and said, I don't like this person. I don't like this version of me. And the dude is now just like, you know, an amazing person. He cares about everybody. He is so genuine and just a fantastic human being that wants the best out of every single person. And I think that is so exceptional and amazing. And he's just super rad guy just to be able to talk to. He's actually part of the reason why I started looking into my health, being like, okay, what am I doing wrong? Like, why am I broken here? Why is my body acting like this? And he, like, the motivation, like, if he can fix himself, I can too. And so big influence on, not that he actually knows, but like getting the plate out, like, you know, talking, like just knowing his story and knowing that nothing is permanent and you can fix anything you want to. I was like, okay, we're going to start here. And guess what? It fixed all my health problems. But it's super motivational, dude. Like, awesome. Well, yeah, we'll definitely have him on. He'll be amazing. But rewind. So Cody was on the plate and he had a Snapchat video, or not Snapchat, Instagram story. And I was like, yo, those things really work? And he was like, yeah, dude. He was like, these things are unreal. I was like, no way. And I'm like, all right, what brand you got? He was like, Life Pro. And I was like, all right, deal.
Not affiliated with Life Pro, but if you want some action, shout us out.
That's right. Life Pro. Hit us up, big dogs. I
got a body that's always beat down and needs help. You know?
Dude, how nice is it on your knees and stuff? I'll be sore after playing in my knees, and I'll just stand on there and like do the same thing as you. But I like doing I like bending over all the way and then putting my hands on the back side of the plate and stretching that way.
Yeah, I do like a good stretch on it too.
That's dude. And they all come with like PT bands and like exercise bands. You can do little things and it helps with your stabilizer muscles, helps with like fat loss, lymphatic draining for detox. Like, it's crazy. And just when you get on there, you like melt. You're like, you just relax. My daily routine, more nightly routine, I get on there, I turn my red light on, I turn on the vibration plate, and I do the red light and vibration plate at the same time. And I'm just like, I just melted butter afterwards.
Yeah, I'm a born skeptic of things like that. You know, I'm 40 years old, going on 41, going on my 23rd year playing pro, and I do believe in a couple of things. I believe in, even if something's a placebo effect, it's still worth it if it makes your mind tricked. But I also believe in, if something can make you 1% better, 0.5% better, and allow your body to fix other things because it's not focused on that, it helps. So yeah, I'm all into red lights. I love the vibration plate. I will do anything. I will try anything like that because I want to extend my career. You know, like I said, I am, going to be 41 this year, but I still feel great as any athlete's going to feel. I mean, your body gets worn down at times, but like it did when I was 20. So I feel the same, and I want to extend my career as long as I can because I still love this game. So it's important to, eat healthy, do all those things, still get enjoyment. I am a believer in, if it makes you happy, it's good for you in some sense because it's 100%. Releasing good endorphins and stuff. So it's not like I'm going to be turning down any nice greasy slices of like New Haven pizza or anything or deep fried wings, but like I still will eat fresher and I will, do these recovery things with a little more fervor, like I have, the leg squeezers. I have the red light therapy. I have this vibration plate. I'll use massage balls. I'll stretch. I'll do things like that to assure that my body can withstand the beatings that I intend to give it.
Right. Your body gives you a lot of love, but it's nice to give it a little love back and be like, all right, here you go. Enjoy this.
I think it's just reminding your body, like need you to recover fast because I'm going to beat on you again, right? It's not
Yeah.
like a gift to your body. It's just a reminder of like, don't get
Complacent.
sedated. Don't get complacent. Like we're still working.
Well, yeah, and what's funny is like when that happens and you like stop doing things that aid recovery, um, your body gets complacent, and then you could get stuck. Like your knee is in a rhythm of having like the muscles may overlap or stay stretched, and they don't retighten back up. But then you start adding these little things. You know me, I love my recovery tools.
Mhm.
Like I have a recovery tool. Literally, I've got scrapers. I've got orbital massagers.
And none of
I've
them
got,
are cure alls like, oh, if you do this, you're 100%. But they're all just make things a little bit better.
and it's no, yeah, and it's knowing when to use them. Like I'm feeling this, like, oh, like I got a knot in my back. It's like on my bed stand I have behind me.
You naughty
I've
boy.
got, huh?
Naughty boy.
My,
You're a naughty boy. You got a knot in your back.
oh, fair. But like if I got a knot in my body,
You better
know,
not mention that again.
so if I got a knot in my body, but no, it's like I get my orbital massager, right? Because it actually works out the knot this way. Like, and then if I have some like stabilizer muscles acting funny, I'm getting on my I'm getting on the vibration plate. Or if I've got some muscles or scar tissue buildup, I, if like some muscles aren't gliding against the skin, like they're stuck, I'll break out a scraper. Like, and it's kind of learning. It's, I used to be an athlete, so I know my body. And it's just kind of knowing when you hurt, what to do and how to do it and how long to do it. But if anybody has any questions about any of these things, please always feel free to hit me up on the Rowdy Ones or my personal account. I geek out over this kind of stuff. So would definitely, and if it helps your day to day, I'm all about that too. So just reach out, always hit me up. I love my recovery tools.
I know for me, like I've had lower back issues my whole career. Not often, but like I will tweak it, once every year, every 2 years. And it's about a week recovery where like I'm crooked. Like if I pull my shirt up in a mirror, like I'm leaning to a side, I can't really sleep on it right. I can't move right. Like I've played through and stuff before, but it usually takes about a week to 10 days before I like straighten up and I'm feeling good again. And I tweaked mine. It's crazy because I can throw my body around, never have any issues.
Right.
Playing paintball. And then like I'll bend over to pick something up and I'll just feel those muscles like spasm around it.
Yeah.
Like, oh, no, it's doing it. And I did that last week. And then like, we got like 18 inches of snow and I'm shoveling with it, like barely like not being able to move and stuff. And I'll tell you what, I use that vibration plate a lot more in those times. And I think it just jiggled me just loose enough where I recovered from that in about 4 days, which would normally takes me 10 days. And that solidified my belief in something. Cause I've dealt, like I said, I've dealt with this injury for, the better part of 15 years. And I know what to expect and how bad they are normally. And
how long it lasts.
Yep. And I've tried everything for them when I did, I had the little, electrolysis like pads and stuff that helps a little bit. I would go to the chiropractor sometimes, and even then it never really sped it up. And the vibration plate was the first thing that really sped up that back injury. So I was pleasantly surprised by that.
Yeah, that's nice. Hang on, okay, not my car alarm was going off outside, and I was like, oh, is that mine? It's like someone breaking into my stuff. Hold on, guys. About to get rowdy on the Rowdy Ones.
Just hear some guns getting cocked.
Don't mind me, guys. I'll be back. No, and have you sat on the vibration plate yet?
I have. I don't know if I buy into that part yet, but I'm sure it's good, but it hasn't. I do have tight hips, so I would think it would loosen it up, but I don't know. I like cranking that thing up and standing.
You're not even using it for the zone you're supposed to be. You're like, all the way. That's a Ryan mentality.
You know
That's
me.
just
You
like,
know me. You know me. How if it's good at something, it'd be better more.
oh, I know. More is always better with the
Yes.
Wild Man.
Bigger, stronger, faster. You know.
Yeah, no joke. Yeah, talk to me
Speaking
about
of
that.
which, Bigger, Stronger, Faster is a fantastic documentary. I know before this episode we were talking about different things to watch, but
Oh yeah,
yeah, like that's a documentary about this dude who was got he liked wrestling growing up and stuff like that, but then he just got like real into anabolic steroids to try to, and it just but it follows like the whole story of it, and it's like a fantastic documentary.
Sick. I'll check it out. Another thing, something you got to watch since you recently got Apple is Greyhound. For anyone that doesn't know, Greyhound, that was a ship's call sign in World War II. And this movie is with Tom Hanks, which fantastic. He's one of my top favorite actors, especially in a war role. I think he does a really good job. Especially with like more serious scenes. But anyways, in World War II, we were having to have all these cargo ships and fuel ships and all these everything bring over supplies. Well, what a lot of people don't know is once they left air cover, they were very susceptible to U-boats because they were in the Atlantic and they were trying to target our ships because we were creating such a supply route. So anyways, it covers that. And what happens is they have X amount of corvettes. That's a class, but they could deal with like anti-aircraft. They could deal with submarines. They could deal with other ships if it came encounter. They're kind of a fast, agile ship.
Versatile attack ship.
Yeah, they were very versatile. And so it follows that it's a true story. I've watched the movie. I've read the book. It's great on both aspects. Obviously, the book goes into more detail, but they did such a good job of actually making the movie very accurate. What's that? The movie? Greyhound. Yeah. It's on Apple. I actually
did watch that. Me and Chad watched that at a tournament before because we would always watch war movies before, and it followed them across the Atlantic.
Yeah,
with attacks, and then they would like lose each other. Yeah, that was a fantastic movie.
Dude, and they had a Pillenwerfer, which is a crazy device, which to bring that kind of detail into a movie, I think is really awesome. Pillenwerfer was a device that was basically filled up full of oxygen. It was a canister about the size of a refrigerator. And it's crazy, right? They came up with this back in World War II.
They had some of the craziest ideas back then.
Dude, it's
my
wild.
favorite's still the bat bomb that we would have dropped if we didn't invent nukes,
Dude, wild. But hold on.
Hold
on. Yeah. Yeah. But the Pillenwerfer, the Germans designed this, and what they did was they'd launch it out of the subs when they were being chased, and it sprayed the air out at an angle, so it would spin this refrigerator-sized piece of metal canister and spin it in a circle. And what it sounded like was prop movement from a U-boat.
Yeah, so it's just
so they would trick them into wasting depth charges, staying there long enough to find out, okay, this is actually stationary after they already dropped depth charges. And after they've already sat there, now the U-boat's gotten away and has gone off. But anyways, it's a great movie, great book. The book is called The Good Shepherd. Mm-hmm. The movie is called Greyhound. Greyhound is on Apple TV. Yeah. Fantastic.
Yeah, I always have a soft spot in my heart for historical, accurate, like war movies.
Oh, yeah.
Just because when I was growing up, my dad loved them, right? So like, like Hunt for Red October was one of the first ones I thought that did a lot of good for that kind of things.
Oh, yeah. Saving
Master and Commander,
Yeah.
same thing for even older, but Saving Private Ryan, yeah. I mean, Saving Private Ryan, like, at the time it came out, I was younger, but like a lot of World War II veterans were still alive, and I remember, talking to some, and just hearing about ones
Yeah.
who just were broke down or had like almost PTSD when watching, those beach
The
scenes because
accuracy.
of how accurate it was.
Yeah. My dad was dope.
Is dope.
He's still alive. My dad's a baller. If you ever get to meet him, he's such a good dude. My wife, doesn't drive her nuts when we get together, but we are the exact same person. And what's funny is we'll have conversations.
That's a lot of you, Hal.
That's a lot. No, that's a lot of my dad. That's a lot of my dad.
Fair enough.
But what's funny is like Natalie. So my dad used to work like 2 weeks on, get a week off. And he'd come up and visit. Natalie and I were first dating. And he him and I, we just get excited together and we get louder and louder and we're just like the same person. It's amazing. And Natalie was like, hey, don't take this the wrong way. I love you guys, but y'all are too much of the same people. So I'm going to go to the grocery store for a little bit. And that's funny. She frequently reminds me that we are one of the same people. But we 100% are.
That's awesome. Chip off the block.
I am a spitting image of my father, except he had a black beard. I got the red from my mama.
You just got a little less soul in you.
I got a lot of soul in me, brother. Don't be playing that. Don't be giving me that crap. Come
Gingers
on now.
are soulless. Everyone knows that. That's science. You don't trust science?
Show me the data.
You got soul. You don't gotta worry.
Anyways, my dad at the time, he let me watch it. I think I was like 9 or 10. It was Saving Private Ryan.
Yeah.
That was like my first that was my first R-rated movie. What was your first R-rated movie?
Forget what it was called. The movie about a plane crash in the mountains and they had to like eat Alive. Does that sound right?
Alive. That was when they crashed in the Andes. It was a soccer team based on a true story.
Yeah, that was my first R-rated movie.
Really?
Yeah. I was probably like 8-ish, I would assume. Maybe 7, 8.
Yeah.
It wasn't like, crazy graphic. They ate some people and a lot of death, but it wasn't so bad.
One movie that I watched that I was like not a fan of, it's a more recent cannibalistic movie. It's kind of old by now, but The Green Inferno. I was like, it's like, these people, plane crash, jungle tribe, not a lot of human contact, just like tortures and eats the crap out of them. I was like,
So going back to fun World War II inventions, I just want to touch on the
bat bomb.
So before, we dropped the nuclear bombs, whatever you want to think about that, it was pretty crazy technological feat. But before we did that, what we did is we found
it's so crazy.
We took thousands of bats and attached little incendiary devices on them and knocked them out and had them in like cylinders that we would drop out of planes. And once they had a certain elevation, the cylinders would open up. The bats that were nesting it would be daylight, so they would fly and then they would nest in all these roofs. And at the time,
just get shit on.
Well, yeah, I thought it was on napalm, right? And at the time, a lot of the Japanese buildings were like thatched roofs and straw roofs and stuff like that. So we set up, full fake cities in the desert and tested these out. And I mean, it just napalm destroyed
so
everything.
bad.
So like, regardless of if we would have came up with the nuclear bomb or not, there was going to be some hellfire getting rained down
Oh
in
my
one way or the
God,
other.
could you?
And could you imagine bats? He's just seeing like 10,000 bats for that thing and then napalm. And that's what we were doing. But like, man, like there's so little technology then. And it was in such an age where technology had so much room to grow that they were trying everything. I mean, the Germans tried making like artillery that was like
On a
30
rail,
times the size of like a normal artillery
on a
piece.
freaking train. It could only
Yeah.
be moved by freaking train and shoot. What was?
I forget the
Hold on, I'm
size
looking
of it.
this up. I'm
Yeah.
breaking rules.
And when they were,
because-
yeah, that'd be the one nice thing about having a producer be like, hey, what was that? What was that round?
I know, right?
But like the Germans too, like they invented like, they tried to invent these like huge like microwaves basically that we could just fry people, and like we were just all kinds of wow. I mean, that's the movie Men Who Stare at Goats, like not a great movie in my mind, but
Oh, it's so
like
bad.
but like we were doing that kind of thing, trying to see if we could get telepathic people to like they were just exploring every option.
The Schwurer Gustav range. It shot 7-ton shells, 14,000 pounds. Okay,
That's actually absurd.
That's 2 times, maybe
That's like
3
strapping
times your
7 cars
vehicle.
together.
Yeah,
or more.
Just be like, put them in.
Yeah.
Guess the range.
I mean, for back then, I couldn't see it being more than like 30, 40 miles.
Close when you said 30. 29 miles.
That's pretty close.
That's pretty close.
For a 14,000 pound projectile?
Yeah.
But as long as people were fighting wars, we were figuring out ways to launch things,
But
from
I mean,
trebuchets were pretty wild for their time. What they
trebuchets
could do.
dope. My buddies and I built one of those back in the days. Great times.
Oh, I'm sure.
We were throwing everything. But all you need's a bunch of wood and a bunch of rocks.
Yeah,
We could
counterweight, a fulcrum, and something
Yeah.
big enough to carry the swing.
It was awesome. It was awesome. So the downfall of the German railgun was the Schwurer Gustav. It could literally only be transported on rails. So if
It
you're
was
battlefield,
massive. It was massive.
oh, it's insane. What was the weight on those things?
I'm gonna guess 100 tons.
You think 100?
Yeah, it's a wild guess, but it's got to be more.
1,490. Oh, sorry, that's short tons. So
I don't even know what a short ton is.
It's a whack measurement that's not used hardly anymore. It calculates to more, but if you run it in tonnage, it's less in tonnage. So 1,000 Fugazi. 1,350 tons. That's insane.
Yeah.
But so if you didn't have like a double railed train track it could run on, and your battlefield was more than 29 miles, guess what? It wasn't great. But they also made the first rocket bomb, which was wild. And then at the end of the war, they had Messerschmitt jets, which was horrible in a dogfight. But if they caught you on a straight on in a dogfight, like you didn't know they were coming, dear Lord, could you imagine being the first person to see that plane? That
I'm actually not
Messerschmitt jet?
overly familiar with the Messerschmitt.
Twin engine jet. Horrible in tight turns, obviously. They they could mess stuff up if they were
Hearing
doing
it must
strafing
have been,
runs
hearing it must have been wild at the time. Yeah, they
or
just
see
it's
it
all
go
prop. Yeah.
by you the first time. Because we had P-51s, which was superior. Once we got the Mustang, it was so superior to anything the Germans had.
Mhm.
But then once I got the Messerschmitt, could you imagine seeing that first one go by? And people had to have thought they were crazy. Like, to be like, no, their planes don't move that fast. No,
Until they do.
these fuckers strapped
Until they do.
rockets to it. Like, you don't understand.
Yeah.
But they were awful in a dogfight.
Yeah. Just
And they
no
were pretty
maneuverability.
well, yeah, no tight banking.
Oh,
But you couldn't
they probably didn't have very good range back then either. Just
no, it was shorter range too. But here's the other thing. If you engage in a straight run, they couldn't catch up to you. It's not like they could get on your six and run you up.
well,
Like
yeah.
you were gone. So it's weird, but they were horrible dogfights. But that was
And the
technically
timing. If they had that early, then it would have probably helped a lot in different ways. But
yeah, for sure. No, it's interesting. So drop a movie recommendation for me. What you got? I gave you one.
well, we were just talking about because Alex Honnold just climbed Taipei 101.
Yep.
He free soloed that building in Taiwan, which is
Yeah.
cool. A free solo, obviously, I'm sure you've already seen it, but anyone who
Mhm.
hasn't seen free solo needs to see that because that's when he free soloed a Capitan, which is climbing with no assists or ropes or safety nets.
Nothing.
So,
There's no
you fall,
safety.
you die. Yeah, right. So my recommendation is going to go a little before that. A documentary called Valley Uprising, and it follows the whole climbing scene from the inception in Yosemite up until more current times, kind of when Alex Honnold
Wow.
started, and it's one of my favorite documentaries.
That's sick.
Top 3 documentaries would probably be Valley Uprising, Bigger, Stronger, Faster, and there's a lot of good documentaries. Maybe King of Kong. I'm gonna throw that in the ring for my top. And that was just an arcade video game documentary, but it's cool to see like how into it those dudes were.
Yeah, for sure. Those are dope. Right now I'm actually watching on Netflix World War II in color. They actually brought color into all that footage.
Yeah. Some of that's pretty good.
Oh,
I don't know where they keep finding these new footage too. There's so much footage I didn't know existed.
I know.
They're always
it's wild.
making something new.
Yeah. I've also watched recently Vietnam, the War That Changed America. That's on Apple. Really good. They actually linked up with not just Americans, but with a bunch of NVA, Viet Cong people. And what's crazy.
Speaking of which, you were mentioning The Greatest Beer Run. I actually remember it. I have seen that, so I don't even need to watch it, but it was good.
You disappoint me. Anyway,
that I saw it, or that I forgot that I saw it.
You forgot.
I know. Well, sorry. There's some of the things you're like, did I read about it? Did I see it? And then you think about it, and you're like, yeah.
If you haven't seen that, it's a based on true story. It's about a guy that was working on transport ships in the U.S. He didn't go to Vietnam because he already served prior. Then Vietnam kicked off, but all of his buddies went to Vietnam. And literally, this is a true story. It's crazy. At the end of it, it shows,
and just like anything in Hollywood,
all the real pictures.
It's based off of a true story. So there's some creative.
I'm excited. I bought a book. It was so good. I bought a book. I bought the book after I watched it. I was like, wow, I got to read this book. But he literally goes and brings this massive duffel bag full of beer, goes into war zone.
Oh yeah, running through like the front lines and the jungle.
Yeah, he ended up getting dropped into a hot LZ into the north part of the fighting, and like stayed in the middle of the night because the guy running that outpost told him, "Hey, dude, this guy's your problem. Take him with you. He's like, no, we're on ambush patrol. He goes, he's your problem.
Yeah.
And so he goes out there and stays with him overnight during ambush patrol. And like, it's wild story. Highly recommend. Great movie. But also what's crazy is like the knowledge in Vietnam, the war that changed America. What's really
the most
cool,
aesthetically pleasing war in my mind. Something about just seeing, the young GIs and cut off, jungle ready, what camo, the tiger stripe. They're
was
just
so
smoking.
bad.
They're smoking their swaggy weed J's over there, sitting there with their cutoff shirts and their short shorts and tiger stripe and bandanas. I was like, man, that's an aesthetically pleasing war. A lot of bad things happened in that war, but
A lot of
it
bad
was
things.
by far my favorite imagery of.
Do you want to know the longest tunnel that was ever created by the Viet Cong?
Sure.
155 miles. It was
Yeah.
a massive network, multi-layered tunnel system around Saigon to prepare for the Tet offensive.
Yeah, that's
155 miles.
I knew it was somewhere around that.
155 miles, hand dug, multi-level. Like,
I mean, it's not that much different than the tunnel system under Gaza right now. You figure that's a couple mile strip of land, and they have like 300 miles of tunnel under it. I know it's not the same, but I'm saying like it's wild what people can do.
oh no, for sure, especially if you're invaded. Like, what are we gonna do? How many? Let's see.
Speaking
How
of the
many-
tiger stripe, while you're looking that up,
Mhm.
my dad signed up for like a 2-year enlistment that they were doing for the Marines back then when Vietnam was going, because they needed people. They were,
Oh yeah, they were going
churning
through
and
'em.
burning, right? So you were
It's insane.
basic, you were pretty much right out of basic, right into the front lines, pretty much.
Oh
Well, he went to basic, got out. Luckily, the war pretty much just ended then. But I wear a tiger stripe bandana to this day sometimes when I play 10-mans and stuff, and that was
Yeah.
from then that my dad had.
No shit.
Yeah, and it's still held together. Not eating my moths yet. So if you ever see me in a tiger stripe bandana, that was from like Vietnam era.
That's wild. My grandfather was Green Beret during Vietnam. Put him for the Medal of Honor twice, 2 Silver Stars with Valor, 3 Bronze Stars, 2 with Valor, 3 Purple Hearts. And he was a literal part of building and designing the first gun trucks, which is nuts.
Yeah.
Like, dude.
Yeah, it's insane. Like my one like was in the Navy, fought in the, all the skirmishes in the Pacific. My grandfather on my mom's side, like I told you before, was in like the Battle of the Bulge area around there fighting, and just kids doing it, dude. It's wild to think about. And that was your great grandfather was pretty acclaimed in that, right? I know you don't like.
He was known for a smoke break. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah. I think you should tell the people, because people already know him. People know your grandfather. They should know he's your grandfather or great grandfather. It's giving him credit for what he's done. It's not talking about you.
Captain Spears.
What would people know him from? How?
Band of Brothers.
One of the greatest shows ever made.
Dude, so good.
Speaking of which, I do got to tell my dad that, because he would be smitten. I don't think there's a show he loved more than Band of Brothers. I watched that a ton growing up.
So you know what's crazy about the whole ordeal? When they were making Band of Brothers, they were like, oh, should we put that scene in?
Yeah.
Like, should we do that? Like, because nobody knew.
Yeah.
Nobody knew. Nobody, like, it was hearsay. It was murmurs through the lines, right? So Dick Winters called him up and said, "Hey, they want to put this in." He goes, "Yeah, put it in."
Yeah,
He goes,
fire it up.
He goes, "I did it."
I did it. That's right.
I was like, gosh almighty. But what people don't understand either is like back then, Geneva Convention, there was some rules, but it wasn't like what we have now.
I mean, the Geneva
then-
Convention was basically born out of the atrocities that happened in a lot of the wars. So,
Well, they add more to the book
yeah,
each war.
yeah.
It's
It's like, oh yeah, you can't do that. You can't just drop mustard gas there. You can't do this. You can't do that.
Yeah, no chemical gas.
Yeah.
Like, don't be doing that.
It was a good idea. I like where your head was at, but no.
After World War II, they're like, hey, so flamethrowers. But you know what's interesting people don't realize is like with an invasion of that scale, and it's technically still day one, 24 hours isn't over. There's nowhere to put prisoners. There's nowhere to take anybody. There's nowhere to turn them in. They don't, because they're using all assets to push and break through the front line.
And if you don't have,
and then logistically,
let them go, they're just fighting you again and killing your friends.
Well, it's like Saving Private Ryan. They're just, you let them go, they're going to get turned back in and thrown into the mix. So the reality of war, I mean, that's the reality of war. War is, there's a reason why they say war is hell, because there is that aspect, and that's just the reality.
I don't even know how they would have cleared out some of those bunkers and stuff on Normandy without flamethrowers, though. I mean,
you couldn't. A lot of death.
What was really cool is like when I visited Normandy and stuff, like that stretch of beach, those beaches, I mean, they still have a presence. Like they still have a soul. Like, you feel it. And we went up there before.
I get goosebumps. I've got freaking goosebumps talking about it right now.
We went up there before daybreak, saw the sunrise. And mind you, like as Americans, we haven't had a war on our soil since the Civil War. And, you know, since then we haven't. But, you know, World War II and stuff was fought in the destroyed cities all throughout Europe, right? So, like, when you go to Normandy to this day, it's beachfront property in France. So there's like nice houses built across the street and this and that. But then there's still the bunkers on the hills. There's still the craters from all the mortar fire. There's still all of that. And some of those bunkers were cool because like you're sitting there and you're looking out at the ocean and just imagining, you know, the fleet coming in and those kids coming off and looking at the terrain that they're fighting through. But the bunkers themselves were pretty cool because, like, I don't know if anyone's ever seen it in movies or whatnot, but like, you know, they would like drop grenades into different like ports on them, like breathing holes, things like that. Well, they would design them too, just where you drop them in and they would just scoop right out and fall right like at the person's feet who dropped it in. So there was like faux holes and real ones, and they're thinking all that, but without flamethrowers, that would have been even harder to.
Yeah, but I mean, could you imagine just carrying a strap of napalm to your back? Essentially, it's not gelatin, right? It's oxygen and a fuel. If you got shot in one of those, you're done.
You're not feeling much, I doubt, though, if you get shot in that.
I don't know, man.
Maybe not. I don't know.
Well, I mean, still, I mean, you got to think fire is weird. Fire is gonna be a surface level pain where all your nerves are.
Yeah.
But then also at the same time, it's sucking all the oxygen because that's what's fueling the fire at the same time.
I guess I assumed when those got shot, they exploded more than just caught on fire. Because if they just like released all that on you and you burnt, that'd be awful.
Well, I mean, you got to think about it though, right? Like, I mean, it's a mixture ratio. While it's rich in oxygen, because round hits metal, it creates a spark. Spark ignites fuel. So
Oxygen fuels the
yeah,
fire.
and so I think it would be more from my understanding, it was more of a fireball, not an explosion. So now not only are you on fire, but you're suffocating at the same time, which, and then like to talk about like the fire engulfing your lungs, like, dude, bad.
Fire gets out of control fast too. I had some brevity in this with a story that this reminded me of, but we were at the old All Americans team house playing some beer darts.
Yeah.
We had a fire going in the backyard. Craig Doherty, Fatty, as people would know him. Him and my other roommate Mike were just kept coming out and dumping gas on the fire. Whatever. It's not the safest thing to do, but it's fine. But what we didn't know is they were doing it with Solo cups. So as they were doing it, gas melts right through Solo cups.
Yeah, it's a plastic.
So they're just creating just rivers of gas from our garage across the yard into the fire. And then all of a sudden it all went up. And all of us are, a little loosey-goosey running around trying to put out this fire. I look and see Fatty kicking a gas can and just fire shooting out. There's a stream of fire that's going up over the top of my car, over the hood, down the other side. And I'm trying to put it out. And like, someone's like, wait, let me get a picture. I'm like, a picture? My car's on fire. I look over at Sam. He was trying to put it out with like an old broom, like one of the straw brooms. Yeah. It caught on fire. And I look over at him and he's just riding it around like a witch. He's like, I don't know. And then at one point in time, like one of the cans got kicked out to like our alleyway that was behind our house, caught the whole alleyway on fire. It is unbelievable. And we were like 4 blocks from the hospital, maybe 5 blocks from a police station. I have no idea how the cops or the firemen didn't get called that night, but we got it all under control. And more of the story, don't play with gas unless you know what you're doing.
Dude, speaking of fires, one of the craziest things I've ever done. So we had one of the largest wildfires up here in Colorado. It was at the time before it later joined up with a different fire and connected. Then it became that when they joined together, that became Colorado's largest wildfire. But before that, the Troublesome Fire was the largest fire in Colorado history. It was the year I took off elk guiding, working for an outfitter. And dude, I mean, some stupid hunters, high winds, it was like 40, 50 mile an hour winds, started a fire in the woods because they were cold. For people that don't know, Colorado in 1994 started getting beetle kill in their trees. It's beetles that went through all the trees, ate all the nutrients, killed the trees, moved to the next good tree, ate them. Literally, you walk around, yeah, literally, and it's standing. So it's not like it's a low fire. All these trees, when you went through the forest, it was mostly dead trees.
Yeah.
Which leads to plenty other crazy stories working in elk camp.
What do they call those? Not suicide sticks. Something when
you mean a widowmaker?
Widowmakers, yeah.
Widowmaker is when it's leaning against another tree.
Oh, I thought they were just like branches that would fall randomly and impale people. Because I've been camping before sometimes and been in some sketchy situations.
Yeah.
At night, and then all of a sudden you just hear a big crash like that. You look up, you're like, what else is dead up there?
So Widowmaker was because I used to be a sawyer for the town of Winter Park, which is where I was working when I quit working in elk camp for an outfitter. Anyways, it's when a tree falls over and leans and you go to cut into the tree, and then you don't know if you're going to have kickback, barber chair. Barber chair is when the tree splits in half and it kicks off. And then kickback is whenever you relieve pressure. Is it going to kick? Is it going to roll? you don't know how it's going to fall because of the other tree. That's why they called them widowmakers. Anyways, so we had all this standing dead timber. The state of Colorado refused. They cut all. Basically, you couldn't go and commercially cut timber, which they should have allowed because it would have created fire lines, at least at a minimum.
Yeah.
Or they could have made it where, hey, you can commercially cut timber, but it's all got to be standing dead. Like, could have been a few different options. They just shut down entirely. So we have this literally, when a fire burns, it burns faster when, like we said, has oxygen. So when you have standing dead timber, it's moving so fast across the tops of those trees when you have it just like tick, 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 tick. So anyways,
suffocating.
Yeah, it's awful. So anyways, fire kicks off. In Elk Camp, we are 8 miles from the trailhead in the Rocky Mountains, like over, you go up and over 3 different mountains going into camp. You don't have service back there. Anyways, I messaged my buddy. I said, hey, how are y'all? Where is it in relation to y'all? I'm like, let me know when you get this message. Because there's one place close to camp that you get cell service. And I was like, if he goes up there and it's an emergency, he'll get this message. Anyways, I got a message back like 4 hours later. Hey, we're pulling all the clients out of camp. We're pulling them all out of camp, and we got to leave a lot of stuff behind. I said, okay. I looked at my boss. I went to my boss. I said, hey, I got to go, dude. I was like, I have to go help. He didn't ask for help. They didn't know I was coming.
Yeah. Not safe to go even, because honestly, there's fires like that can turn on a dime.
In a high wind, I was actually riding. I'll get to this in a second. So I knew where the owner kept all the horses. I knew where his corral at the trailhead was. I knew the combination to the trailer that had all the saddles and everything and all the tack I needed. So I saddled up a horse and I rode into the fire, literally straight at it. And the wind was blowing right in my face. I was getting ash.
I've been to Australia before for some of their forest fires because they were always having them around the action paintball that we played at. Mm-hmm. And like the one year we were down there, we woke up in the morning and it was like it just snowed an inch of snow. That's how much ash on our car and stuff. It's kind of gnarly.
Well, when I was driving into the trailhead, sheriff's like, hey, you can't come in here. I was like, I'm helping this outfitter. I said, I'm a prior employee. I got a different job. I'm helping them get out of here. He goes, okay. He goes, I'll let dispatch know. He goes, you need to call dispatch and tell them who you are. He got my name, my info, and all that related to dispatch and was like, call dispatch. They'll have all your information. Let us know when you get out. I said, okay. He let me by, but he was turning everybody else around saying, you can't come up here. I remember there's this one big, tall ridge line. And I remember looking up, it was 8:00 in October, which is dark. And I was like, that looks like the sun. Literally, it looked like the sun was right behind it. And I was like, this is stupid.
Yeah. One thing I always found interesting about fires like that is I've been to a lot of areas that have had them in the fairly recent times, and like everything will be destroyed, and then there'll be like one tree that's like untouched or like one little
mosaic fire
jumped over. It's wild how that works out.
Yeah, it's called a mosaic fire.
Why is that?
Because it'll pattern like it jumps trees in areas.
Yeah. But like sometimes it's like, thousands of trees and then it's just one standing. Looks like it never even smelled it. Like it's so weird.
It is very weird. Yeah, no, that was a crazy fire. Killed a few people. There was a crazy story that came out. Friends on the fire department told me, Stillwater Pass. These guys called their wives, well, they got a hold of the they got a hold 911, said, "Hey, we're here. We can't get out." And they called their wives, said, "We love you guys. We're here. We can't get out of here, and it's coming right at us." They laid down on the road, which is a dirt road at Stillwater Pass, trees along the whole side. And the fire truck went out there to respond to it. The fire's gone. And these two guys are walking up the road. "Are y'all so-and-so?" "Yeah, yeah." They're like, "How are y'all alive?" Like the fire jumped the road and they didn't burn up alive.
Yeah, they're just in like a little ditch, or that road was
On the
probably
road. They were
dropped
on
down.
the road, just dead on the road,
That's insane.
laying down. It was crazy. Yeah, the troublesome fire was awful. Then it met up with the Cameron Fire, which burned up Rocky Mountain National Park. So Cameron Fire was hooking from the north, coming like southeast in Rocky Mountain National Park, and the troublesome fire met it in Rocky Mountain National Park and was going like straight to Estes. I had friends on the police department that went out, and they were like, there was fire on both sides of the roads. We were going to houses, and they were like if we would have had one tree fall down, it'd have been like it would have been over. Cars came back burned.
Oh yeah,
Like everything was
Just
super
melted.
burned. Yeah, melted. So, and then this past year, I ended up working another fire. That was pretty scary, pretty quick. That wasn't fun. I think you remember that.
I do remember that.
That was not fun. And then where my wife works, that ranch, they had 200 horses. And no, 221 horses and guests on property. When if it took off and jumped the highway, one would have went straight up there. And it would have run right through the draw, went into there. And so I was there hooking up trailers, like getting horses ready, like all that stuff. And so that was really, really crazy. But it's funny when you've done a lot of cowboying in your life, make a hand pretty quick. But what's fun fact, when I'm in a horrible situation, running equipment, doing stupid stuff, Kesha, Die Young is the song that I'm just like blaring on repeat. Just like running equipment in bad situations and stuff. I'm just like, Kesha, Die Young, and I'm just like having a good old time, singing my heart out. It's fun.
You got to, because it's not getting better if you're not.
I know, right? I know.
That's loud.
Yeah,
life is fickle and fragile, but it's worth living. That's all.
Even if you're gonna die, have fun doing it.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
What is a song? I want to know this about you. I know you're musically inept.
Retarded.
Sure. But what is a song that you say would define you? Come on. There's gotta be one.
I'm sure there is, but my brain just doesn't work that way with music or with language. Like if I hear, like I can't put a song title to a song. If I hear the song, I might know the words and I might be like, oh, I really like that song. But if you try to tell me like who sang a song or what the song title is called, I can't pick that out of thin air for you.
So come on. Give the viewers something.
I would if I could. I am musically retarded. It's the truth. I wish I wasn't. I am.
I know you are. Probably Wrong Place or Wrong Time by Treaty Oak Revival for me, or Amazing Grace.
Okay.
Take either one of those.
I used to, I don't know. I lean more in towards folky or like classic rock now.
Mm-hmm.
I like songs that I can hear people singing, people that have unique voices, but I can still make out the lyrics. I like been listening to a lot of like Monsters and Men lately.
Classic.
Yeah,
Solid.
I like that kind of stuff.
I would
In my
say
20s, I would have probably picked like Young, Wild, and Free. That was good.
mm,
Or Pursuit of Happiness. Like those are good party songs. But no, I don't have a song that like relates to
I
me.
would say it would be Creedence Clearwater Revival.
They're
Fortunate Son.
Yeah, I love that one actually.
That's
Son
it.
of a Fortunate Song. Good song.
Great song, dude.
Good song.
Dude, that's like one of the staple songs when I'm going offshore.
Although
Just
giving my acceptance of a song or appreciation of a song doesn't mean anything because I don't know shit.
it literally says in the beginning, "Oh, fortunate son,
Oh, I know the song. I'm just saying,
waves
like,
the flag. Ooh,
yeah,
the red, white, and blue."
it's a great song.
Just saying.
It can be mine. It's my song. Take it.
Well, no, you're
No, my
musically
song.
inept. No, I'm picking it. Like it's you. Done.
That's fair. Fair. I'll take it. I'll take it.
It's a great song. It's a good song.
But yeah, I think I enjoy these episodes where we don't talk much paintball, but I would like to touch on one thing. I know
Let's get it.
the All-Americans, Frank Connell made a post saying about how they weren't going to be playing 10-man anymore. And, as a lifelong All-American, it's a sad day. I do think the team will eventually come back. But with that said, since the All-Americans aren't going to be here this year, I am still going to be playing the ICPLs, and I'm going to be playing with Trauma this year. So I'm extremely excited about that. Cowboy Roy is a great friend, just a stupendous person, and we'll have to have him on because you love him. He's just a great dude. He reached out to me. I agreed to play with them, but the Trauma guys, I've been competing against them since the early 2000s, and it's going to be fun finally sharing a field with those guys as well. And then on top of that, Sam and Chad George are both going to be playing with me. So even though I won't be playing with them on Heat, I will get some of my old Philly American boys together to still, mob down some people in 10-man. So I'm very excited about this year.
You've teased me for 3 years now. I'm excited for you. But you have teased me for 3 freaking years. Oh, let's go play 10-man together. Let's go play 10-man.
Yeah, I still want to get all the Heat team from last year together for one random event this year, whether it's a 10-man or a scenario or something, just to have a little reunion with all the guys who, it ended before we knew it was going to. So it'd be nice to get everyone together and just have fun.
Dude, I think if we went out on a scenario game, we would just hurt people.
Obviously.
Oh, man. I think Ronnie and I could get us a good game built.
You're building the game?
Build us a game.
You're a promoter now? You're promoting?
Always. Yeah, man. No. But I think we could get something organized and have
you got to talk to the people for a second. I hear my cat outside wanting to come in and it's cold, so I'm gonna go get her.
All right, go get her. And Ryan's camera is doing this fun auto function that he needs to turn off because he talks with his hands too much. And I don't know if you've noticed, he'll be like moving his hands and then the camera starts moving, zooming in and stuff. Yeah. So leave in the comments if you want. Yeah, look at that. See, it just did it again. So leave in the comments if you would like for Ryan to turn off his auto motion, because I don't know if you've noticed.
Maybe I know it follows me. And then when I'm out of screen, it'll just go wherever it needs to go.
Oh yeah, I went to the ceiling when you left.
Well, you didn't need to look at it, Better than going some other places, maybe. That would have been all right.
Maybe that's our thing. We just have the roaming camera.
I don't walk away from the screen too often in these.
No, but you start doing crap with your hands, and then it starts.
I'm Italian now.
And I'm Irish. What do you want?
Irish people don't talk with their hands.
I don't understand. Anyways.
Wish you'd speak in a little more Gaelic, though. Man, some of the hardest like people would
Dude.
understand are thick
Yeah.
Irish accents. Well,
Yeah.
sometimes I've been in some cabs and stuff in Dublin and the
Oh, dude.
surrounding areas before. and
Well,
it's-
I guarantee you.
I don't have it in me to do it right now because I have to hear it, but I used to be able to get a pretty good spitting image of it.
Dude,
I remember Jason Trojan sometimes would just look and be like, "How do you even understand what he's saying?" I was like, "I don't know, man."
Gaelic is a dead form of Latin. Anyone that doesn't know. Second off,
It's
You
like
ever go to
Latin
Ireland?
if you have 12 marbles and 2 teeth in your mouth.
pretty much. Anyways,
And
if you ever go to Ireland with me,
fifth of Jameson already drank.
Jameson's rail whiskey. It's
Well, I don't like it. Yeah, I know.
It's awful over there.
I agree.
Anyways,
You're telling me they
we
don't
should
still
go.
drink it?
You, me, Britt, and Nat should all go to Ireland. I got the stops. I got the places. I got the people.
I love Ireland, and I'd like to do a little more.
No, I got all the cool, like non-touristy places. So
I had to go get this girl out.
thick girl.
It's not too fat. She's pretty furry.
She's pretty thick, big dog.
It's all fur, dude. She's not that big. I wish she was bigger. I like big cats.
Then why don't you get a Maine Coon?
Well, this was a hand-me-down cat we took when
Get a Maine Coon. If anybody doesn't know what a Maine Coon is, they're about 5 feet freaking long.
they're good.
They're
just
sick.
like-
I don't even
they're
like
just like
cats.
They're just like little rag dolls too.
Oh, they're funny. You pick them up and shake them around.
I look seriously into getting a lynx
Bobcat.
before.
Oh,
I looked into both, but found some places and they're just too much.
Mom had one growing up. Bobcat, wild
it's so
bobcat. They rescued it
You just got to feed them a lot of raw meat,
a lot.
and they cry like it. They have a
Well, there's
very aggressive scream.
it sounds like a baby screaming.
Oh yeah,
Is the way
So do
my
mountain
mom
lions.
described it.
Mountain lions sound like a
Dude,
toddler screaming.
have I ever told you about my mountain lion story?
Mm-mm.
Last season, working in elk camp. So we always worked. We did drop-off hunters. We dropped them off at camp. We never guided it, but we dropped off archery and muzzleloader, and then we guided first rifle, second rifle, and third rifle. Fourth rifle season, we hunted for ourselves. First day of fourth rifle. I'm getting out there. It's 3 a.m. I'm going to go walk this big, not really, you can't call it a canyon, but it was a really straight drop off along 2 ridge lines on both sides. Anyways, really great place to go find elk because they run up that draw with those steep walls. So I'm walking, pretty full moon. I have a headlamp on my head, but I don't have it turned on. And I was walking, and I don't know, I'd been walking for about an hour, and I hear a twig break. By the way, this is probably 3:30, 4 a.m. in the morning. 4 a.m., closer to 4 a.m., 4:30. And I hear a twig break, and I just stop walking. I always carry, so I obviously have my hunting rifle, but I always carry a pistol. And that twig break, and typically if you run up like a sleeping deer or even a bear or an elk, they'll get up and run. You'll hear running afterwards. I didn't hear anything after this twig break, and it was a break on the ground, not like something fell from a tree. And I was like, that's weird. Clicked on my headlamp. 30 feet in front of me, a little to my right, there was this big ass mountain lion hunkered down, looking right at me. And without thinking about it, I drew my pistol and I put rounds around it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't actually trying to shoot it,
Yeah, just trying
but
to
I
scare
put
it.
I put it about 10 feet in front of it. That thing ran off. And I was like, nope. I was like, nope, going home today. I was like, not doing this shit today because this thing was following me and I didn't know how
Oh, it
long.
was stalking you for sure.
Yeah, and I did not
Deciding
know.
if it was worth
Yeah.
the risk to itself, because they're always going to take small game first. But if they're hungry enough, they'll still mess with you. But they're weighing their options. Is it worth it?
Yeah, and I was like, nope.
Big cats
like,
are cool. Big cats are cool.
Big cats are cool until that shit happens.
I've seen one mountain lion around us, and then Adam Gardner actually had a picture of one in a tree by his house once too.
Yeah.
Mind you, the Game Commission in Pennsylvania swears there's no mountain lions here. Doesn't matter. They just, I don't know why they have such a thing against it. It's like, well, people
will be scared of it, and it'll put fear in people.
I mean, we have other things. What's the big deal about a mountain lion?
Yeah.
I think it's cool. Jaguars are starting to repopulate our southern states,
like Florida, Georgia.
They're working their way up through Mexico, and they've been seen a lot in Texas lately. Texas,
Sick.
Oklahoma. Yeah, I'm pretty excited. That Jaguars are cool.
Jaguars are dope. They have Panthers in Florida, Black Panthers.
Yeah,
that's what I'm thinking of. No, yeah, I was like,
they have the Florida Panthers too. Their hockey team.
Yeah. After that, I was like, nope, going home today. I was like, nope. I was like, not dealing with this shit. I was like, because I mean, for all I know, it could have been following me since I left the truck.
Yep.
And I'm like, if you're, and it wasn't like
it could have been following you since you left the truck. It could have, been around the area that you saw it in and just heard you and went to investigate and started following you there. But the thing is, you don't know how long they follow you because they're little ninjas, dude. They could have been on your ass.
They're quiet. And the only reason why I turned on my headlamp, I was like, that's weird.
Fun. It's
There's
funny
no
how
running.
Quiet, like mountain lions, bears, deer can be in the woods. And then you'll get like a chipmunk or a squirrel, and you're like, how are you this loud?
Bro, I was I was hunting one day. I was elk hunting, and I'd been following this group for a while, and I was like, all right, they're gonna come down this draw because there's a creek below. They literally go every day from here to there, and they run the same draw. I was like, I'm going, and I'm sitting and I'm waiting in the tree line. It was a beautiful open meadow down this mountainside. I was sitting there and I was waiting, and this squirrel, pine squirrel, big tough deers, is sitting above the tree above me, looking down and just barking at me the whole time. You know how bad I wanted to smoke that squirrel? I was there for 30 minutes the whole time, just I'm like, man, I was like, this thing.
Yeah, so he was thinking the same thing about you. Like, why isn't this dude leaving?
He's like, he's in my hole.
I'm yelling at him. Been yelling at him for an hour.
It probably felt like days for a squirrel.
Yeah. But I hate to cut this short, but I do think we'll end this episode now. But we know that most people who listen to us listen for paintball or the guests we have on, stuff like this. So let us know if you absolutely hate these episodes where because we're probably going to randomly have some of these. We probably won't stop doing it if you tell us you hate it, but it'll make us aware of it, and then we'll let you know which ones to skip.
Yeah. Exactly. Because I love this. I mean, it tells a more personal side of me.
Yeah.
It tells a more personal side of you. Fun stories, like our love for history and movies and documentaries and just all that stuff.
Like obviously the passion is paintball. The overall is
life
and what drives people. But I like all the ancillary stuff as well. So I like an episode like this, and it's like over being redundant talking about something that someone's already done on 20 podcasts or this or that.
Yeah.
Like instead of missing weeks, I do think that we'll do these in some downtimes, and so more so, let us know if you hate it, just so we know. But also, let us know like what you'd like to hear about from us on these episodes.
Yeah, like pitch an idea, get in the
Yeah.
Discord.
These
like,
are the
let us
perfect
know.
episodes to talk about anything.
Yeah, and if you pitch an idea or a topic, and we'll gladly talk about it. Like, and so hop in the Discord, tell us. There's a section in the podcast, like it's podcast questions and thoughts. Hop in there, drop a comment, let us know. Like, who knows? It could lead to a really fun conversation, which I'm
or it
always
might
down
just
for.
make us remember a story that has been in the back of our head that we forgot about for a while that we get to share. So I enjoy these. So
I love them.
I know we talked about coming on for like a half hour or so tonight, and it's well over an hour. So obviously we like them and have no problem talking.
Yeah. So, anyways, with that being said, everybody, thanks for chiming in. Thanks for joining us. We love you guys, and hope you have a blessed evening.
Well, the whiskey's low and the stories are done, but we sure had ourselves some fun. From tall tales told to the last good pun, you've been rolling with the rowdy ones. Thanks for listening, y'all.